The year is 1888. London is a city of gaslight and shadows, a place where immense wealth exists alongside desperate poverty. But hidden within the grand halls of the British Museum, a secret darker than any foggy alleyway is about to be unearthed. It's a story of a magnificent jewel, a cursed diamond, and a chain of tragedy that would stretch across continents and generations. This is the tale of the Raj Diamond and its reign of ruin. Our story begins not in London, but deep within the Golconda mines of India, centuries earlier. This is where the Raj Diamond was born, a stone of breathtaking size and clarity, said to capture the light of 1,000 suns. It was a symbol of divine power, adorning the statues of gods and the crowns of mighty rulers. Legend says the diamond was protected by a sacred oath. Whoever removed it from its holy place without the proper rites would face eternal misfortune. For generations, it was revered and feared in equal measure. But the winds of change were blowing. As the British Empire expanded its influence, its eyes fell upon the untold riches of India. The diamond, with its mesmerizing sparkle, became an object of intense desire. It was eventually acquired, some say stolen, by a British officer during a period of intense conflict. He saw it not as a sacred relic, but as a ticket to fame and fortune. He shipped it back to England, oblivious to the curse he had just unleashed upon himself and all who would follow. The officer, let's call him Colonel Mitchell, returned to London a celebrated man. The Raj Diamond became the talk of the town, its brilliance dazzling high society. Mitchell hosted lavish parties, showcasing his prize to lords and ladies, but his triumph was short. His immense fortune began to dwindle in a series of disastrous investments. His health mysteriously failed, and he was plagued by vivid nightmares of a wrathful deity. Within a year, the once proud colonel was a broken man, dying in poverty and obscurity. His last words were a frantic warning about the cursed stone. But society, captivated by the diamond's beauty, dismissed his warnings as the ravings of a desperate man. After Mitchell's death, the diamond was sold at auction to a wealthy industrialist, a man of science and logic who scoffed at the idea of curses. He proudly displayed it in this manner, a testament to his own success. Soon after, a fire of unknown origin swept through his factory, his primary source of wealth, reducing it to ashes. His wife, who often wore the diamond to social events, fell into a deep, unshakable melancholy. The family's fall from grace was as swift as it was brutal. The pattern was set. The Raj Diamond passed from hand to hand, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. A shipping magnate who owned it saw his entire fleet sink in a freak storm. A famous actress who wore it on stage suffered a career-ending accident, falling from the rafters in a bizarre mishap. Each owner experienced a sudden and catastrophic reversal of fortune. Love turned to loss, health to sickness, and wealth to ruin. The diamond seemed to feed on the happiness and prosperity of its keepers, leaving them as empty husks. By 1888, the whispers of the curse had grown into a roar. The diamond, now infamous, was acquired by the British Museum for its collection of curiosities from the Orient. The curators, men of academic rigor, intended to study the stone, not to believe in its supposed powers. They placed it in a secure vault, deep within the museum's archives, hoping to contain its dark legacy and put the rumors to rest. For a time it seemed to work. The string of public tragedies ceased. The diamond was out of sight, and seemingly out of mind. But the curse was not so easily contained. One night, a museum guard on his rounds reported hearing faint whispers emanating from the vault. He described a feeling of intense dread, a coldness that had nothing to do with the chilly London air. A few weeks later, the lead curator, overseeing the diamond collection, a man renowned for his skepticism, was found dead in his study. The official cause was a heart attack, but those who knew him said he had become increasingly agitated and paranoid, convinced he was being watched. Another museum staffer, a young archivist tasked with cataloging the diamond's history, began to suffer from debilitating migraines whenever he handled its case file. He documented a chilling observation. Every recorded owner of the diamond, without exception, had met a tragic end or suffered immense personal loss shortly after acquiring it. His research became an obsession, and his colleagues watched in alarm as he transformed from a cheerful young man into a haunted recluse. Fearing for his sanity, he requested a transfer and refused to ever go near the vault again. The Raj Diamond was no longer just a beautiful stone. It was a pariah, a toxic secret locked away in the heart of London. The museum sealed the records, classifying the information as sensitive. They couldn't risk a public panic, nor could they admit that they were housing an object that defied rational explanation. The diamond became a ghost within the museum walls, its story buried under layers of bureaucracy and fear. So what is the truth behind the Raj Diamond? Is it a carrier of an ancient, supernatural curse, a spiritual guardian's revenge against those who defiled a sacred object? Or is the entire saga simply a stunning series of coincidences, a classic case of confirmation bias where people connect unrelated tragedies to a single, compelling narrative? Believers point to the undeniable pattern of ruin that followed the diamond everywhere it went. Skeptics argue that in an era of high-risk ventures and rampant disease, Misfortune was common, and the diamond was just an easy scapegoat. Perhaps the curse is psychological. The sheer value and notoriety of the diamond could have placed immense stress on its owners, leading them to make rash decisions or fall prey to paranoia. The power of suggestion is a potent force, and if you truly believe you are cursed, you might unconsciously bring about your own downfall. The story of the Raj Diamond, then, becomes a fascinating study of human psychology and the power of belief. The fate of the Raj Diamond remains one of history's great mysteries. After the events of the late 19th century, it seemingly vanished from public record. Some say the museum, terrified of its influence, had it quietly returned to India, where it was placed back in a hidden temple to appease the spirits. Others believe it was secretly sold to a private collector so daring or foolish that they were willing to risk the curse for the ultimate prize. And a more chilling theory suggests it remains locked away, deep in a forgotten vault, a slumbering terror waiting for the day it is once again brought into the light. The story of the Raj Diamond is a stark reminder that some things in this world may lie beyond our understanding, whether it was a conduit for supernatural vengeance or simply the focus of a powerful mass delusion. Its legacy is one of ruin. It's a cautionary tale about greed, hubris, and the dark secrets that can lie beneath a beautiful surface. The next time you see a dazzling jewel in a museum, take a closer look. You never know what stories, or what curses, might be trapped within its facade. Thank you for joining me on this journey into one of 1888's darkest secrets. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next dive into the mysteries of the past. See you next time.